You ready? That's right. It's 6 o'clock. I'll go ahead and call this February 25th, 2026 City Council. Ratification and plan led by Councilmember Platoon Jeff.
Dear Heavenly Father, the serenity that we cannot change, the thing we can, and wisdom to know the difference. Grant us patience and deliberation, integrity and leadership, and compassion and service as we serve our citizens of Creel. Reflect fairness and unity, our actions promote the well-being of our community, and our work strengthen the future of our city. As we are all in the middle of the election season, I also ask for a spirit of peace and respect and rest upon our city, our county, state, and our nation. Help candidates to speak truthfully and act honorably. Help voters to seek understanding
me. On the right-hand side, you see a bunch of the different focus areas, and then on the left-hand side are all the dates that we have the classes on. The deadline is this, I guess, Saturday, so just wanted to call that out. Another way to get involved in your community, we wanted to make sure you are aware that at the end of March, we will have 2 board advisory positions open on the Park and Rec Advisory Board, and we also have a position open on the Building Board of Adjustments and Appeals. If you would like to learn more, please visit those pages, and we will be posting this on our website and on Facebook. Oh, it's what I shared. Street closures, pedestrian closures, but it's all for a good cause. Don't worry. Why is Water Street closing between Clay and Quinlan? Well, Panda is coming to town, Panda Express. So, February 25th, all day long, which is tomorrow, we will have a road closure between Clay and Quinlan, just 1 block, to bring in a gas line. We will have intermittent sidewalk closures between February 25th and Tuesday, March 17th. Additionally, we are still under the 3-week repair cycle for the G Street pedestrian bridge. We also just got notification, and I do want to call this one out because it's a little bit larger, but Highway 27 in Al Mooney will have construction going on, and so there will be lane closures from February 27th through March 2nd. It got this really late in the day today, so wasn't able to get it included, but we will be sure to get this out to media and to on social media as well. And now we end on something fun for the whole family. We have the Carver Park Spray Ground. It's going to open March 1st through October at 10 a.m. to dark, except on Tuesdays. Why not Tuesdays? Well, glad you asked. We will be closed on Tuesdays so that they can do maintenance and repairs, anything to keep it going all the rest of the week. So, thank y'all. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bill, to come through.
Any member of council have anything to add?
Just the usual, May 16th, the Smithsonian Institute is rolling into Kerrville. It's going to land at the Kerrville Arts and Cultural Center, which is right on the corner of Earl Garrett and Main. It'll last till June 28th. It's a great opportunity. You don't have to fly to Washington. Washington is coming to us in the form of a great exhibit that showcases our town as well as some other small towns in our country. So be sure to, May 16th it opens and it lasts through June 28th.
Jeff, anything?
Not for future events, but Sunday was pretty amazing and special at the Callaway Theater. We had the 4 ladies from Broadway that were here that got to perform with 24 of our local youth performers, and it was as they were walking past us off the stage, they're like, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity we just had. So the kids really enjoyed the opportunity to sing with the 4 ladies, so it was special.
Thank you. Okay, Brenda? Anything?
No, not right now.
All right, let's get to presentations. I'm going to go down the front and ask Mr. Lopez and Mr. Nelson to join me and their families if they would like to come down with them.
Come on down. Yeah. Any family that wants to come too is welcome. Just stand right here. Mm-hmm. Face audience. Where and Chief Boyd's going to start us off. I'm not end up falling out. Glad you're here. Yeah. Chief.
All right. Good evening, Mayor and Council. On January 27th at approximately 2:30 a.m., Amaziah Lopez and Jonah Nelson were headed home after finishing a late shift at work when they noticed flames coming from the back of a residence. Without hesitation, they called 911 and rushed to the home, knocking and banging on the door in an effort to alert the occupants. When there was no response, they made the courageous decision to force entry through the front door. Upon entering, they discovered the family's son lying on the living room floor. They quickly assisted him to safety, where they learned that his father was still inside the burning home. With the fire spreading rapidly and thick smoke filling the house, Amaziah and Jonah pulled their shirts over their nose and re-entered the structure. Despite the intense heat and limited visibility, they located the father and successfully brought him out to safety. Their swift, selfless, and heroic actions saved the lives of these two residents and their family pet.
Yes.
The incident serves as a powerful reminder of how quickly a fire can spread, even in a home equipped with a working smoke detector, and how critical immediate action can be. Amaziah Lopez and Jonah Nelson exemplified extraordinary behavior and compassion. With great honor that we want to recognize y'all with the Good Samaritan Award.
Yeah.
Right. But that's not all. That's not all. We also have a Purple Kindness Award for Mr. Nelson and Mr. Lopez. And it's for your heroic and life-saving actions on January 27th, 2022. If you feel comfortable saying a few words, I'd be happy for you to do so. Do you want to say anything?
I'm happy that everything happened the way that it did, and we were able to successfully help out or lend a helping hand and be able to save lives in the current time and day.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful y'all are still here. Grateful for being able to be there, and I appreciate the words of the recommendation, and I appreciate the chance to be able to help where I could.
Yes, sir. Thank God, first of all, and glad that everything worked out the way it did. Cause we had a setback at work, and if we didn't have that setback at work, we wouldn't have made it on time. God, by the grace of God, we're all still here. You know, it's the fire real fast. So I just want to thank y'all for the recognition. It's everything that y'all did for us and that we're going through now, and helping these people get back on their feet.
For the rest of your lives, just know that you're heroes. Thank you. These are the Hardys. Before you leave, let's get a picture, okay?
What's the
I'm glad you're still here, man.
Everybody got to get a picture. You gotta get a picture. Sorry. Yeah, come on. Come take a picture. Oh, mama. There we go. There we go.
I want to add one more too, Grandma. Come on up. Because you got,
Come on up.
yeah, exactly. Come on.
Our Kerrville heroes.
Yes.
All right, next. Next, we're going to recognize the Rotary Club of Kerrville, which is celebrating its 100th anniversary. And I think we have some members of the Rotary Club to come on up front. Come on up front, please.
Mr. Cindy President, Madam Past President.
All right, I invited Jeff Harris to join me today because he's a member of the club. This club, February 26, 2026 marks the 100th anniversary of the Rotary Club of Kerrville and a century of service to Kerrville. Whereas the club founders, past and present officers, and members of the Rotary Club of Kerrville have worked tirelessly to maintain the highest standards of service above self. And whereas the Rotary Club of Kerrville has provided a century of service and played an invaluable role in shaping and contributing to the quality of life in and around Kerrville for generations of families. And whereas the Rotary Club of Kerrville has enriched the lives of many in the community through its service projects and fellowship for Kerrville and the surrounding communities. And whereas sincere gratitude is extended to the Rotary Club of Kerrville and the individuals therein who have given their talents and resources to make the Rotary Club of Kerrville a foundational part of our community. Now, therefore, I, Joe Herring Jr., Mayor of the City of Kerrville, do hereby proclaim February 26, 2026 as the 100th anniversary of the Rotary Club of Kerrville and encourage all citizens to join me in celebrating this history and success of the club. Congratulations.
Amen.
If I see you just state your name and a little bit about your service in the club. I'm going to call on you too. Starting with you.
My name is Lane Guerrero. I joined Rotary 2 years ago, and one of the nice things about Rotary is that everybody has a servant heart, and one of the nice things that we're doing this year for the city is we've raised money to pay for the flagpoles at the new public safety facility, which we'll dedicate on April 8th. So.
Hi, my name is Margaret Diffin. I was the president of the club in the year 22-23, and I've been a member since 2017. And it's just been an extraordinary family of people that want to come together and do things in the community, whether it's youth scholarships or supporting the student robotics team or helping at the stock show. We help with first responder scholarships. So we just, as Lane said, everybody in the club has a servant's heart, and it's a privilege to be in the club, and delighted to be here tonight for this.
Wayne Eager, I originally joined the club back in the early 2000s, then had to separate for a little while, rejoined around 2012, 2013, somewhere in there. But it is the motto of Rotary being service above self. It's just a thing that has been a stay point in my life through the years.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Greg Falden. I'm a recent transplant from that vicious town in Houston, Texas. I've been here about 3.5 years. I'm a Rotarian for almost 25 years now. It's absolutely an incredible organization. If you just look around and see the community, again, Shriner, Peterson Hospital, Rockfield Clinic, I mean, we can go on and on of the partnerships that this club has partnered with the local community for 100 years. It's pretty special. If you guys have a servant heart, you've got a few extra hours in your day, and you'd love to learn a little bit more about our club, we meet on Wednesdays at noon at the Kroc Center. We'd love to treat you for lunch. Come join us and learn a little bit more about our organization. It's a pretty amazing organization.
Hard to say anything after all that. I'm Dave Rittenhouse. I'm the club secretary. And what I'm really getting excited about is just about to kick off right now, and that's the Josh C. Otter Water Safety Program. And we go out to the local elementary schools and teach them about water safety. We zero in on the second and third graders especially. And it's a great program. We usually reach 12 local schools and about 1,200 kids. So that's one of my passions.
All right. Well, thank you so much. No.
Wayne? I'm Jeff Harris. I joined Rotary in November 2017, past president. Through 21-22 right before MARTA, and it's a remarkable organization with everything that we do, or the club does for the community. April the 13th, we're going to have a golf tournament at River Hill to benefit our first responders, so we can continue to send them to training that they need that's not in the budget. We've sent game wardens to Swiftwater Rescue School, and which is, unfortunately, it was utilized in the summer, but just the things that the club does for the community, and I'm honored to be a member with all these great people up here in our Rotary Club. So, thank you.
Thanks again. Squeeze together now.
Thank y'all.
Thanks.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Next, we're going to talk about the Big Texas Recovery Rally. Anybody here to join me? Come on up, please. Come on up. Hi. Hi. Good. Thank you. Thank you all for being here. This is a proclamation of the City of Kerrville. Whereas mental health and substance use disorders are essential components of our overall health and wellness, impacting individuals, families, and communities regardless of age, race, or socioeconomic status. Whereas behavioral health conditions are treatable medical issues rather than moral failings, and individuals with these conditions make significant contributions to our community when supported with compassionate, evidence-based care. Whereas the stigma and fear of discrimination associated with mental illness and substance use continue to be major barriers, often discouraging individuals from seeking life-saving support and treatment they deserve. And whereas our community is committed to using person-first language, such as person with a substance use disorder rather than addict, to acknowledge the inherent dignity and worth of every resident and foster a culture of empathy and belonging. And whereas by educating the public and promoting open dialogue, we can break down stereotypes, eliminate stigma, and replace them with a broader understanding of hope and for recovery. And whereas we salute those in our neighborhoods who are in recovery, as well as the family members, friends, and healthcare professionals who walk alongside them on their journey toward wellness. Now, therefore, I, Joe Herring Jr., Mayor of the City of Kerrville, Texas, do hereby proclaim the month of March 2026 as Big Texas Recovery Rally Month in Kerrville, and call on all citizens, government agencies, schools, and businesses to recommit increasing awareness, reducing stigma, and ensuring that our community remains a safe, supportive environment for all seeking wellness. Congratulations. I'd like you to introduce yourself and say a few words, if you will.
Hi, everybody. My name is Lena Butter, and I work at the Hill Country MHDD as a recovery peer support. A lot of people don't know that we don't only just serve mental health, but we do have a substance use program. And March the 7th, from 11 to 3 at Carver Park, we're going to be celebrating destigmatizing mental illness and substance use in a family-oriented celebration with live music, state representatives, other local organizations that want to support people in recovery from substance use and mental health. And we're also partnering with Sakata Hakata, and they can talk more about that as they go on. But we just wanted to know it's a family event, and there's going to be people with lived experience talking about how they got well and stayed well. And it's really important that people understand that there's help out there in different aspects, and that the community supports that. Thank you.
I'm Bethany Servicius. I am the Substance Use Services Program Director for Hill Country. And I work very closely with Lena, and she kind of said it all.
Good.
I'm Andy Cobb, and I work at Hakata. I'm a recovery coach over there. And we just support people in any recovery pathway they choose, whether that be faith-based, AA, or medically assisted treatment. So we're helping a lot of people in the community, and a lot of people that were affected by the flood, because from that traumatic event and things have come up that, you know, they didn't know they may have had an issue with. So, yeah, and it's going to be fun on Saturday.
And it's Western themed, so bring your cowboy hats.
I'm Leah Westra. I am the coalition coordinator for HACADA, which stands for Hill Country Council on Alcohol and Drug Abuse. And I gather like-minded people together, organizations and parents, businesses, and we educate people about substance misuse and how it closely related is to mental health. So, thank you. Glad to be here.
Thank you for all you do for our community.
Yes.
I get paid per picture. That's
Oh,
why. Thanks, guys. All right, daughters of the Republic of Texas. Who's going to be with us? Come on up, please. This may be news to you, but I actually like history. I don't Come on up. All right, this is a proclamation by the city of Kerrville. Whereas the Daughters of the Republic of Texas was organized in 1891 to perpetuate forever the memory of Texas pioneer families and soldiers of the Republic of Texas. Whereas the Joshua D. Brown chapter was chartered in January 1996 in Kerrville, is one of over 100 chapters in the state of Texas and comprised of many daughters of the Republic of Texas who reside in the city of Kerrville. Whereas on March 2nd, 1836, the Texas Declaration of Independence was signed at Washington on the Brazos, and whereas on March 6th, 1836, the Alamo fell, and all the Texian defenders died for the cause of Texas independence. And whereas on March 27th, 1836, about 400 Texians fell at Goliad. Now therefore I, Joe Herring Jr., Mayor of the city of Kerrville, Texas, do hereby proclaim March 2026 as Texas History Month in Kerrville. And I'll urge all citizens to join me with this month in honoring our Texas heroes and proudly displaying the Texas flag. Congratulations. I'd like, if it's okay for you to go down and state your name and your experience with the daughters and anything else you'd like to comment on.
I'm Missy Soberg, and I am the president of the Joshua D. Brown chapter, Daughters of the Republic of Texas, and this year was our 30th anniversary.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much, and we received this from Governor Abbott.
Nice.
So it's very nice. It's wonderful, along with this.
He signs much neater than I do.
They're both wonderful. Thank you so much.
I'm Sheila Doyle Posey, and I'm actually not from Texas, but I was allowed to join Daughters of the Republic of Texas as an associate member. I'm second vice president, and I've been with the organization about a year and a half.
I'm Julie Leonard. I've been a member of this chapter since 1999, and it's really fun to know about our ancestors and what they've done to keep this great state going, and the daughters do that. So thank y'all.
Nancy Wilson. This is the 190th anniversary of the land grant that Sam Houston gave to my great-great-grandfather who fought in the Battle of San Jacinto. And the land grant that he got in Houston was right along Buffalo Bayou. So I'm glad that we had this way, and I get to play at River Hill instead of River Oaks.
I'm Rebecca Palmieri, and I'm a fairly new member. My ancestors were a little more scoundrels than but they still let me in. But the best thing that I enjoy about the daughters is that the sisterhoodship that we have, and that we have the opportunity to promote and preserve Texas history.
Thank you all. Let's get a picture.
I can't see you.
Let's switch.
Here you go.
There we go.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. All right.
All the best, Raymond.
Thank you. Thank you.
How are you?
Ms. Cash will be up next, okay? You'll be up next, and you can use this mic, or you can use the podium.
Amy, Amy Harding.
She's with, 6E, or, I'm sorry.
I have 2E, Hill Country Casa.
Yes. Yeah, and it's.
Oh, I got the wrong one. I see you back there. I'm looking at the wrong person. I'm sorry.
6A.
And her name is Amy.
Yeah, Amy. For some reason, I have Stephanie on this. Amy, I know who you are. I'm sorry about that. For some reason, I saw Stephanie Cash. I don't understand.
No, she is not here today, unfortunately. So you're stuck with me. I'm sorry.
I'm happy to have you here.
Thank
Amy,
you.
please go ahead.
It's a pleasure to be here. My name is Amy Harding, and I'm the Outreach Director for Hill Country CASA. Hill Country CASA started serving the Texas Hill Country as an advocacy center in 1989. We are a volunteer-driven organization advocating for children in foster care from Kirk Handel, Bandera, and Gillespie County. Currently, we have 62 active volunteers over our 4 counties, serving 69 children in 40 cases. And our volunteers put in about 35 hours of pre-service training to gain a better understanding of the child welfare system and issues and circumstances that can lead to the necessary placement of children in foster care. Our volunteers work under court order to advocate for the best interest of the children while they go through their journey in foster care. For some, it is resolved in 12 to 18 months. For others, unfortunately, they could spend from their late teens to 18 aging out of foster care. We really work with our community partners. We've created the Peters Invitation Center next to our office on Earl Garrett Street. In partnership with the Kerr County Child Services Board, we have the Hope Closet, where we have resources that allow access for investigators, law enforcement agencies, other nonprofit organizations to come in and pick up diapers or wipes or car seats or booster seats, locking med boxes, hygiene products, whatever is necessary to meet the needs of the family immediately, and oftentimes in the hope of trying to meet a need that could prevent the removal of a child and placement in foster care. We also, since the dramatic flood on July 4th, we have opened the Peterson Visitation Center to a collaborative relationship with the Children's Bereavement Center of South Texas, and they are working with members of the community, a majority children, but also adults who are dealing with trauma and grief from that devastating event. And so we're just really thankful for the support of our community and for such amazing volunteers that want to look to the future and the hope of our community, our children. If we don't put time and energy in our children and families, then our future's not going to change. And it's really important, the work that we do. We are also working to increase our outreach efforts to try to catch people upstream so that we're increasing awareness about the signs of abuse and neglect. For, the Extension Office does a safety day every day in May, and for the last couple of years we've started talking about internet safety and doing a little rotation on internet safety, and being able to talk to kids about online gaming and different things so that they can learn how to advocate for themselves and protect themselves, because that's really where it starts. And so, yeah, we're just thankful to be able to work with such great people and such a great community and try to change the future for our children.
Thank you. I know firsthand the hard work that your volunteers do. It's wonderful.
Yes,
And we have one on board right here.
Yes, sir, and I'd like to add that I've known Amy since 2012 when I first became a CASA. And at the time, there was a banner out on the courthouse square that had 341 Kerr County children are in foster care, or maybe it was the region, but anyway, that in my mind was way too many. So I went right down to the CASA office, and Amy was the person that I spoke with, and I said, I want to become an advocate, and she took me right away.
Jumped right in.
And now the number is at 69.
Yes, ma'am.
So we've been able, through the course of the last several years, been able to reduce the number of children in foster care. And it's clearly because of the programs that CASA has put in place in order to help families be successful in keeping their children at home and giving them the education and stuff that they need. So kudos to you, Amy.
Yeah, thank you for you and all your volunteers. And thank you for what you've done for our community. Any comments?
I've been in your facility and just recently, I guess probably several months ago, so I saw the quiet room and all the, I applaud what you're doing, and I think that, I think you are making strides. I mean, I know you probably know it, but I just want to say, I see it, Brenda sees it, and it's because of your hard work and making it a place of peace and safety. So thank you very much.
I'll just reiterate what Brenda and Delane said. I mean, thank you so much for what you do for our community, our kiddos here. It's
they are our future.
They definitely are. And serving on another board that has to deal with child trauma through abuse of whichever nature you want to call it, it was an eye opener for me. So thank you. I know it can't be easy, but thank you.
I say same thing. It's a really valuable work of the youth. Are our future, and we're really pleased that you do such a good job. So thanks for being here.
Thank you very much. I believe I brought to the City Hall last week our annual impact report, so you can see the numbers and the work that we're doing in our programs, and I've left some brochures about our program and the work that we do. So thank you so much. We appreciate the support of the city and everything that you do to give us an opportunity to advocate for children in our community. It takes a good partnership.
Thank you.
Thank you, Amy.
Thank you, Amy. Next, we have our financial report, Ms. Behrens.
Good evening, everyone. So giving you a monthly report for January 31st. So we're tracking, of course, how we're moving with the current budget, but also building historical trends because we are right in the middle of 27 budget. Anyone who's interested in that, so a lot of information will be coming your way in the next couple of months. So looking at the general fund, again, this is through January 31st. Property tax is 76% collected through January, and we did have some pretty big collections in February, so this is a little bit out of sorts. Usually we're a little higher in January, but February is 92%. So the tax assessor reported that they had some USPS lag, and so we feel like we're right on track with everything that we have going on. Remember that we did increase the property tax budget through an amendment by about $600,000. That money has been set aside and restricted for flood, and we feel confident that that's about where we're going to be. Still being conservative, and then again, this is there's a lot of unknowns this year, so we're really watching that closely. Sales tax better than budget, $131,000. It's important though to know we had a pretty big audit payment in last year in February, and so February you're going to see that it's down. It's not because sales tax is down, it's because it's offset by that audit payment that we had last year. So you'll see that next month. Services still better than budget. We have EMS and solid waste in there. We're tracking those. There's been some things going on with EMS, with some delays, with some government shutdowns and things like that, but we're watching that pretty closely. This month shows personnel 70,000 behind year-to-date estimate or where we think we should be, but we do have 5 pay periods in January, and so it's really hard to land on exactly where it should be. We're looking at February, and we feel like that we are actually going to be better than budget there just because of some vacancies and some other things that we have going on. We have some other things that are better than budget. So we're 4 months in. It's a little bit early to be saying this is where we think we'll be. At about 6 months, we kind of start doing some year-end estimates to see how we think we're going to end for the year. This is just a chart of your sales tax through January, looking at multiple years. The good news is, more important than looking at month over month, we look at a 12-month rolling average. And so this time last year, we were at 0. So we had no increase over the prior 12 months. Through January, we're at 5%. So when you look at 12 months, that looks a little bit better. We'll see what that February reduction, because that audit payment does, but it's still, we're trending better than we kind of thought we would. But there's been a lot of things going on. So we're really trying to rule out some anomalies that may be coming from the flood and those kind of things that are driving some of that. So we still want to be very careful as we're budgeting in 27 that we don't capture some of those things that won't be repeats. So a lot of things to consider. In the water fund, you can see better than budget on revenues. That makes me happy that water fund is, the water sales are pretty close to budget, or where we think budget should be. That tells me that hopefully this new water model that we have built is working. We built it on a much more conservative scale when it comes to irrigation. We reduced that quite a bit. So reducing dependency on irrigation does two things. It encourages conservation for one thing, and then also reduces the dependency for the revenue on the irrigation. So expenditures, better than budget right now, but again, we're only 4 months in, so there's a lot of things that can still happen in the next few months. Do remember that December, January, and February are sewer averaging months for anyone who doesn't know. So your sewer bill for next year is dependent on the water that you use during December, January, and February. So very important to keep in mind when you're watering and those kind of things during those months. We started adding these other two funds in. As you know, we pulled Kerrville Shriner Park out into an enterprise fund this past year, really so that it can operate more like a business. It is not self-sufficient yet, as we didn't expect it to be coming out of the flood. We've had a lot of revenue reductions there just because of the state of the park. I'm happy to report, though, that there's work going on down there right now to restore the beach areas and some other things. And so we're hopeful that we can get the river side of the park back open soon and let people start enjoying that again. But we're watching this more from a business model standpoint from this past year going forward. Same thing with golf. So we all know what's happened to the golf course in the last year. It looks great over there. We continue to get compliments. We have a lot of golfers returning to the course and playing out there. As our revenues indicate, we're about flat with where we should be overall for budget. We were a little bit nervous going into this year, trying to predict, where do we land? What do we do with fees? And a lot of work went into building out this model. The idea here is that golf supports itself without any transfers in from the general fund. So we've really worked hard to build out a model that we feel like will do that. And so as we move forward, we'll continue working on that to the point to where hopefully we can start setting aside some fund balance for future projects that need to happen over there. Occupancy tax is another one, and the reason I talk about it is because when you see that it's $69,000 ahead of where we think we should be in budget, that's another one that's going to be really important that we pay close attention to because of the additional stays that are happening right now in the community still because of the flood. And so we want to just really keep that in mind as we go into next year's budget, that we won't have some of the repeat things that we had happen. So Jacob and his staff have been really working at dissecting that to try to figure out where the anomalies are so that we bring you good information as we start talking about budget. So quick FEMA update, and I'm not going to go through all the things that I have talked to you about before, but I want to make sure it's in the presentation online so that people can see it for sure if they want to know it. The first thing I will tell you is that FEMA is paused right now. So everything is on hold. So anything that was pending award during this partial government shutdown is not being considered until that is removed. So we're hopeful that when they get the government shutdown resolved, that FEMA will pick back up and get some of the projects obligated. If there's good news, we did receive our Cat B reimbursement that I continue to talk about, so $713,000. We received that specifically for overtime and supplies and things like that that we bought during the early phases of the disaster. So we do still have some things that we need to buy that we had been holding off on specifically for the police department that was damaged or destroyed. And so we are working through getting quotes for that and replacing some of the items that they had, destroyed and had to pull out of some inventory to be able to continue their work. We did submit donated resources. We talked about this last time. it's in FEMA review. We'll see what happens. We went through 8 versions as we were working through what we thought made sense to submit when we were working with our FEMA rep and also our third-party reviewer. Donated meals and donated goods were pretty much disallowed for a few reasons. They really want receipts for everything, which we talked about. So those pretty much got thrown out, minus just a few things that we had donation slips for that were very specific items. We're still kind of expecting around 200,000 is my hope. So it will almost meet our 25% match. So we're hopeful, but we're pending FEMA review on that right now. New things, nothing really new here except for G Street Guardrail. We received reimbursement for that project. So pretty quick turnaround on anything that's under 100,000. And then the water distribution line has been obligated. So it's obligated. FEMA's already said yes to that. So as we complete that project, then we can do the closeout and expect pretty quick turnaround on that as well. If you've seen Guadalupe Park, they're making some really good progress over there. Our parks team is working hard to get that project moving and get that park back open for the public.
What's the lead time for
I'm
that
sorry?
park to be done?
I don't know. I would hate to speak to that. That's really a question for Jay, and I'm not sure, but I know they're working. So we have paid out the first installment on that contract, and those contractors are working quickly. So we're hopeful is my best estimate, I guess. But I can find that out. And then lastly, the lift stations were pending. When I did this report, they've since been obligated. So that's good. It's not a big amount of money because a lot of that was covered by insurance, but still some money that we can expect to get back. And then a couple of other projects that are still pending. Of course, our parks are the biggest unknowns right now. We're still working through a lot of stuff with FEMA. We're not expecting to get a whole lot back on Louise Hayes Park because we had some insurance for some of the independent things. But even so, if we, our cap is going to be building it back to pre-existing condition. And so we don't expect that to be enough to do what council has kind of directed us to do. So Jay and his team are still working on outside funding, of course, and any other rock that we can kind of turn over to get these parks back to normal. But a lot has happened at Louise Hayes Park. A lot of improvements have happened, and so they are making some progress down there. Okay, so quick update, and I just wanted to point out the important stuff here. In March, we'll be bringing you a presentation of the audit second meeting, so you'll see the financial report in that. We're hopeful that we will get that report to you at least a week ahead of time so that you can review it before it's presented. And then I made a mistake on April 21st. It's actually April 28th, but that could be sooner. We really want to start bringing you some preliminary budget information at regular workshops and not have additional budget workshops, so to speak, but just have public discussions about what's going on, where we are, kind of things we're seeing, requests that are coming in from department and those kind of things. So starting in April, we will start bringing that information to you in small doses at your regular workshops. And then you can see budget workshops that are on there so that you can plan ahead. And then when we are planning to present the budget and then have the readings. So happy to answer any questions that you have.
Your captions on the right really help explain all the report itself. So
Good. And if you'd like to see it different, just let me know. It's what's in my head isn't always what's best for everyone else.
Great.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments?
Good.
Good. Thank you.
Mayor, just a clarification, it should be about the middle of April for Guadalupe Park.
Oh, awesome.
Yep.
Thank you, Michael.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. All right, we come to the Visitors and Citizens Forum. Anybody sign up?
Yes, sir. We do have two. George Baruti.
Mr. Broody?
6016 Glen Road, just as the first thing, I don't know if you guys have been working on it, but those microphones they don't sound like they're amplified when you guys are talking, just saying. So I'm just here to talk about something that's been near and dear to me for a while, which is sort of the chipping away at the prominence or the role that citizens are to play in our local processes here. For my money, it sort of began in earnest in 2019 with the creation of these 4 o'clock regular meetings that City Council has, where ordinances are sometimes passed and critical discussions occur. Ordinances being passed in consent agendas with no individual readings, just kind of lumped together. The daisy chain walking quorum meetings that occur on the Mondays before council meetings where each individual council member meets with the city manager. Sometimes visible contempt for citizens raising issues that are deemed contrary to council. By a prior mayor, the arbitrary reduction of citizen speaking time on different issues, then the financially supporting and publicly promoting what most people in town that I talk to call an internet bully, posing as a blogger, posing as a political journalist, even looking the other way when citizens were publicly admonished by said bully inside this room. The abridgment of free speech with misguided peddler solicitation ordinance that has subsequently been struck down. The blank check authority that was granted to the city manager for transactions up to $100,000, no council or citizen oversight required. And the recent lobbying effort to prevent more stringent citizen oversight of tax increases. Finally, mission accomplished. 7 years after it began, we now have, as of May 2nd, we will have a sitting council of 5 members, not elected by citizens. No fault of your own, necessarily, but it's a sad day for Kerrville in my mind, that we will then have a leading body that has no input to being from the citizens. If you look at the org chart in your budgets, it has citizens at the top. You can take them off. They have no input at this point other than people coming in, but there's no accountability to citizens anymore. Again, I'm not blaming somebody, but we should be actively pursuing something different than that. That's all. Thanks.
Thank you.
Michaela Taylor?
Ms. Taylor?
Hello, council. Grateful to be here, grateful to be alive. Before the council cancels a public election for the second consecutive year, has anyone reviewed the sole candidate's campaign finance filings against his actual campaign activity to confirm compliance with Title 15 of the Election Code? I don't expect anybody to answer that. Just wanted to ask it. There's also one more question that I think is very important. November 2020, the city of Kerrville signed an interlocal agreement that designates both the police chief and the sheriff as primarily responsible for warnings in Kerr County. Records confirm that Chief McCall received a flash flood warning at 1:14 a.m. on July 4th, 2025. My question is simple. What was Chief McCall doing at 1:14 a.m. on July 4th, and why didn't he alert a single official to the potential danger? That's it. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you.
All right. Any others?
No, sir, but I do want to reiterate that the city secretary does post all campaign finance reports on the city website for transparency. Anyone can see that.
I'm aware. I did see those.
Okay.
Going to come to the consent agenda. No discussions anticipated on these items. They're considered routine, but any item can be removed by a council member or staff member or member of the public. Would anyone like to remove an item from the consent agenda? All right, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve items 5A, 5B, 5C, 5D of the consent agenda.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, so vote. And it passes unanimously. Now we come to public hearings. Just trying to train me. We're going to get there eventually. Public hearings. Let's start with resolution number 12, 2026. Mr. Paxton.
Thank you. This is a resolution for, conditional use permit. 417, 421, 229 Washington Street, 917, 918, 921 Garden Street. You see the property is highlighted here. Conditional use permit for multifamily housing. It is currently zoned RT with the adjacent block around it, public and institutional to the northeast, and downtown arts and cultural district to the northwest. It is part of the downtown area as far as the future land use plan, so the multifamily is consistent with our Kerrville 2050 plan. Here's the master plan or the concept plan for the future of this property. You can see a new parking lot on the corner, renovated 2 buildings along Washington Street, a new multifamily property or building in the center of the property, and the existing duplex at Garden and, can't read that street, North Street, thank you. The Garden and North will be used for family housing as well. The Planning and Zoning Commission recommended it with a 7-0 vote in January. I'd be pleased to answer any questions before or after the public hearing.
Any questions for Mr. Paxton?
Well, I just want to comment that it duly noted that the entire property, once finished, will be fenced.
Yes.
I thought that was important for the neighborhood and for them and the neighbors as well, so.
And the conditions in the resolution limit to 1 story. It does extend the expiration of the conditional use permit to 6 years so that they can continue doing fundraising for the property or for the project. Tied to this site plan, so if there's any major deviation to this, they will have to come back through planning and zoning and city council for approval.
Ms. Oldham, I'm sorry I misidentified you earlier. Would you care to speak? Is this?
Hi, I'm Kim Olin. I'm from Hill Country Crisis Council. I'd like to say that we've been in Kerrville for since 1984. We're celebrating our 40th year. When we started, we were just in Kerr County. We now cover 7 counties, extending all the way up into Mason to provide family violence and rape crisis services to both adults and children. And we have a Children's Advocacy Center that covers five counties. And so this has been a long-term vision. And Brent Ives and Kristen Hendricks and myself have worked really hard along with board members and PROs to turn this into a reality. So thank you.
Again, I apologize for misidentifying. Right. This is a public hearing. I'm going to go ahead and open the public hearing at 6:59. Anyone can speak. You don't have to sign up to speak. Go ahead, please.
Okay, can you put the other one back on? The one first? So that, the one that was yellow. Yeah. So is that little notch, is that not part of the property or?
That's separate property owner.
So this is gonna like sort of swallow up something. What's in that spot?
I believe it's a home.
There is a residence there, and we've approached the owner multiple times to purchase that as well, and we're hoping in time that person will allow us to purchase that property.
They're not one of the ones that wrote a letter in opposing it, are they?
No.
Okay, I was just curious.
Public hearing is still open. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
Can I just ask a question?
Of course.
Janet Grage, I'm in Kerrville. The workshop that was scheduled 5 to 6, did that happen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, is it public, open to public?
It was. Yes, ma'am.
And so I missed the parking.
I'm sorry.
5:50 when it was done.
After that,
Didn't take very long.
no, it had been around
Can you
5:15.
discuss it tonight? What was discussed in that? Is that on the agenda?
I'll let the mayor tell you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I'm sorry you missed it.
You're on time. Well, I started asking.
Anybody else on the public hearing? We're still in the public hearing. All right, I'm going to close the public hearing at 7:01. Mr. Hornets.
I was just going to say, if you step back and talk you through what we discussed in the workshop.
Give you the information that we talked about at the workshop. Yeah. Okay, thank you. All right, we have a resolution before us. Is there a motion?
I would make a motion to approve resolution number 12-2026 for the conditional use permit for the open crisis.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, so vote. passes unanimously. Thank you for your work. Item 6B is also a public hearing. It's a resolution supporting Roadrunner TXHP. Mr. Paxton.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. This is a second site, same company. It's actually applying for putting two applications in the city of Kerrville. The other site that you approved a resolution of support last meeting, there are some sewer capacity concerns in that area. So they wanted to put in this application before the deadline at the end of the month. Work through any issues they have on either site. State will only approve one site. Again, Ms. Andre is here if you have any questions. This is a 9% tax credit housing for family housing on this address, roughly 3400 Loop 534.
Okay, thank you.
Please answer any questions.
Any questions, Mr. Paxton?
Yes, according to this map, that one street that goes off of Loop 534, how will it connect to this particular site? We'll have to have a road put in.
I actually, thank you very much. My name is Sarah Andre, and I am the developer for this site, and I actually wanted to, I guess, butt in, for lack of a better word. I did not realize you were using this graphic, and it's changed.
Okay.
And so I don't want to mislead anybody or have you think, because there is no access, as you so adeptly pointed out. And so the outline we have now goes the other way, so that it does connect with the loop, because
I figured at some point
doesn't make
it was in
much
the plans.
Yes. And I don't want to belabor that. I just don't want you to be misled as to where we were looking.
No, appreciate it. So I had another question about the actual units. Can you talk about that?
I would be happy to talk about any element of it. So we are proposing 40 units.
Okay.
It's a mix of 1, 2s, and 3s.
I was curious about the rent. I was probably too soon to say for sure, but
the rent there will not be any rent that is, no, there will be rent, there won't be any rent that is higher than what a family could afford if they made 60% of the median income. I have scaled this so that we have some units below that. We are applying for 2 types of funding from the state. One is housing tax credits, and the other is what they call their multifamily direct loan program, which is home funds. And those home funds have restrictions that are more in depth than the tax credit program. And so those units are then, the income level is scaled down, the rent is scaled down. In any case, the maximum rent the family would pay would be no more than 30% of their income, and that includes rent and utilities. And we have a utility allowance where we subtract out that amount from rent, maximum rent, if that makes sense.
I like it. Thank you.
It's complicated. I probably didn't explain it that way.
No, I'm used to hearing those described that way, so thank you very much for explaining that. I appreciate it.
Just a question on the graphic that's being shown. I don't understand the access to the loop.
Correct, because this doesn't have any access. So
What is it actually?
And this literally happened today, but if I can, yes, exactly. So instead of dividing
North side or the south side?
the north side, yeah,
Okay.
instead of dividing this trapezoid, if you will, down the middle long ways, it's sideways, exactly where that arrow is going.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, sir. The upper side, the north side of that site towards the high school, we're abutting that drainage basin next to the high school.
This is still a public hearing. We go ahead and open the public hearing at 7:06. Anyone can speak. You don't have to sign up to speak. Anyone? All right. And close the public hearing at 7:06 and a half. discussion? All in favor, so vote. Unanimously.
That sound better when I talked?
The speaking is not. If you lean forward. Gotcha. That's why I'm gonna be like this.
Oh, okay, so don't go, okay.
All right. Item 7A. A resolution declaring the city council candidates for mayor, place 3, place 4 unopposed. I'm sorry. Ms. McLennan, would you like to say anything? No? Okay.
If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
All right, is there a motion then? We can have a discussion if you'd rather.
Oh, I'm ready to make an motion.
Go ahead.
To adopt resolution number 14, 2026.
Second. Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, so vote. Passed unanimously. Great. There's no need to go executive session. But does anyone have an item for a future agenda?
I didn't hear back as to whether we would do anything with our resiliency group. Okay, okay. That's what I mentioned last time as well.
Have you been to the beach or? All right, seeing the items for future agendas, I'm going to go ahead and adjourn our meeting at 7:08.